Yappy Hour begins. Let's start the data download. I know, Morgan, I think you said you have to head out.
Yeah, nothing more that I love than a yappy hour, but I'll see you guys next week, okay?
Bye,
See you
Morgs.
later.
Goodbye.
Good luck
Love
today.
you, Morg. Thank you.
Also, can we just shout out Lyndsay really quick for the most incredible segment title ever?
Oh, Yappy Hour. So good.
Yeah.
Yappy Hour. I think it's great. I just like, rubbing my nose and stuff while we're recording. It's fine.
I'm so excited to just yap a little bit because the past 3 days, I feel like I've literally been in the absolute pits. And even yesterday on our prep call, I was like a shell of myself. But can I just tell you? Okay, so I was doing like the oil of oregano, turkey tail, sea moss, like all of my normal, like, immunity protocols for like when I got sick. And I took a deeper dive and I added in NAC, N-acetylcysteine, quercetin with bromelain and mullein. And dude, like yesterday, my recovery on my Aura Ring when I woke up was like 40 or something. And the Aura Ring is actually really cool, way cooler than the BioStrap because it tells you like based on your heart rate variability, your respiratory rate, your resting heart rate, like if you have no signs, minor signs, or major signs of strain that like your body's fighting something. And so I went from like no sign, major sign, major sign, and my recovery today was 80. So from
Like
40 to 80.
percent? I don't know what you're talking about. Like percent?
Yeah, we can call it
Yeah.
percent. So like,
Okay.
yeah,
You get a score.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like a
Is it
ready.
out of 100?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's like you get a sleep score and a readiness score, basically. But then in addition to what it does different, which I'm not super familiar with the Whoop or anything, but it just gives you like minor signs or major signs of like strain based on your body's natural. So like my natural resting heart rate is like in the 40s. And then my heart rate variability, which the higher it is, the better it is like usually like 120, something like that. So when my body starts to like shift, it's like, hey, your body temperature is up 2 degrees, you're this or that or the other. So there's like major signs. Adding those three things, sorry. Dude, I'm telling you, I was not expecting like a 40-point turnaround in like less than 24 hours. So I'm super excited about that because it was
Dude, the
like,
best
how did I
recovery
not know about this before?
Best recovery I've had in the last month was a 62.
I'll get you on a protocol, Linz.
That's why I'm pulling back on the gym a little bit because it's like my muscles are not recovering. I'm also perimenopausal right now.
Yeah.
So like
What do you
I'm
take?
fully
What's your like
going.
regimen?
Oh my God, you want the whole stack? I'll have to send it to you. I take quite a bit of stuff. And I
What's like
recently
recovery specific that you take?
so I have a multitude of things on that. I stick with the oregano oil. I do the
Take it
zinc.
every day.
No, I take it like 3 times a week. Otherwise, I start getting heartburn.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I only take it when I'm sick, but I've been reading a lot about oregano oil and other things that it does aside from like being an SOS when you're sick. And I might start taking it like either daily or like every other day.
I'm also taking colostrum right now, which is fantastic for cellular recovery. And then I have, I've got all my BCAAs and I've got all my I've got all my mushrooms and I've got like a whole stack of.
You take creatine?
Yeah, I take monohydrate. Yeah.
Cool.
Creatine is the shit. I
Dude,
just
yeah.
started using it again recently. Oh my God.
Game changer,
You
right?
know, oh, it's a game changer. When I'm in the gym, I can literally feel it click on. And I'm like, I could be in here for 3 hours. Like I feel.
Zach, did you know that creatine has been studied in patients, like old patients with like Alzheimer's, dementia, etc. And creatine is actually a really, really, really potent like nootropic and like cognitive support
Yes.
supplement.
And I just learned last night that it is one of the best antidepressants on the market. Literally helps with antidepressants. Antidepressants usually take in the pill form
Mhm.
like 4 to 6 weeks to like fix whatever the fuck's going on,
Mhm.
creatine can work within like a couple days.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
it's an incredible supplement. I am so happy I started using it.
Yeah,
I take a bunch of
I didn't use
supplements, I
it
don't
for a
take
long
any
time, and then I had a hard time finding a good one, you know, because it's like, especially because creatine monohydrate 5 grams daily is like the clinical dosage, and that's where you get the benefits. But depending on like what lab you get it from, depending on like you know, what else is in there in the processing, like I was struggling with like breakouts or like the bloating. Also, timing is really important because creatine is insulin sensitive and dependent for like uptake. And so, but my friend Mel, shout out to Mel, she recommended the Thorn brand. And that's the one that I think it was maybe like, must have been like December. I've been using it for like at least almost 2 months now. And yeah, I've noticed a huge
Wait,
difference.
so if I take it in the morning, is that fine?
What's that?
If I take it in the morning, is that fine?
Yeah, because you're insulin
Take mine
sensitive in the
morning.
morning.
Okay.
Yeah, I take mine in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
That's one of the
It's
first things
better
I
to
take.
take it like in the morning, like empty stomach or whatever, rather than like after, well, after your workout, you could be good too, depending on what kind of workout you do. You'll be insulin sensitive, but yeah,
Apparently I take creatine monohydrate.
that's
what
the
I take.
one.
Okay,
That's the
cool.
one. Because there's different forms of creatine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So don't laugh at me, you guys, but this is a little something to do with my tism. I don't take pharmaceuticals. Like I won't take Advil. Like it's got to be real bad for me to take an Advil. I don't take any of that. And anybody that knows my backstory knows that this body has had quite a few pharmaceuticals run through it over the years, and now I'm like literally poisoning my child with chemo every day in my own home. So I'm pretty anti-chemical. However, don't laugh at me for this.
However,
I also hate taking pills. So it's another reason that I don't. So I get as many supplements as I can in gummy form.
Are they not packed like full of sugar?
I have like, actually, most of them don't have that much sugar in them. They really
Okay.
do
don't.
you use the creatine gummy?
Huh?
Do you
I
use a
take
creatine gummy?
gummy.
I'm fucking dead.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing, because I will not, my fucking tism, if it's a bunch of pills I won't fucking do it. I just won't
Yeah.
do it. Like they'll
See,
sit on
I'm
my
the
counter.
opposite.
And
I can
Yes.
take a mound of pills all at once.
Me
No, I
too.
get a treat every morning. Are you
mound.
kidding me?
That's
I'm like
true.
a child.
You
get
know
a treat
what? I
every morning.
take
I go for a
melatonin gummies every single night. Melatonin. I don't care. I do not care what anyone says. You can pry them from my cold dead fucking hands.
Oh,
I'm
you're
taking
not
melatonin.
autistic. I can tell you that much, because
Well, I can't. I take Adderall.
melatonin.
Like I need something to sleep, but it's a melatonin gummy. I literally cannot wait to go to bed and taste that little gummy. So good.
A treat. Give him a treat. Yeah, I had literally a little Tupperware this last time I traveled, full of like 9 different gummies, and it's just a bunch of gummies.
Yeah, I
They
have
don't match.
like
Like I swear they're not
different
marijuana. I
flavors.
swear. Those ones.
Yeah, I'm leaving for Vegas tonight, and I have literally 4 different pill organizers. That's like, one is for like when you wake up before breakfast, before food, then with breakfast, like with food, then midday, and then nighttime. But also part of that is because I just created like a whole new supplement regimen that is entirely based on healing my gut and like my gut lining. So I've added in like, I take glutamine, milk thistle. I'm back on taking my AG1 supplement because I actually I have so much of it, but I'm way better at like pills than powders. So I have a bunch of it that I just haven't been taking. And I was doing the research for like for healing my gut, and chlorella and spirulina are really, really good for your gut, both of which is already in AG1.
Spirulina.
Yeah. And they're both already in AG1. So I'm like, okay, got to start taking that again. And then collagen is actually really good for your gut.
Oh yeah.
Like slippery elm, which is actually in the throat coat tea. And then like marshmallow root. Like, dude, I literally spent like $200 just on like a gut health regimen, because I was like, I know that whatever's going on, just I'm like, this is all in my gut. I'm like, if I can heal my gut, I'll heal everything else. And it's so crazy because like my last lifetime, when I was a professional meathead in my previous life, I knew all of this stuff. Now I'm like, almost, I'm like digging for it and it's like resurfacing. I'm like, oh, I remember this. Oh my gosh. Cause it's like, I'll have all of the information that is pertinent to whatever I'm hyper fixated at the time. And then when I'm like moved on from it, I just bury it. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
I've known all of this for years. Like, why did I just tuck it away, stop using it?
So, on one of our episodes in the future, we are going to have to talk about the shocking statistic of neurodivergents that have systemic health issues and why that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally go to the bathroom like twice a week unless I'm taking care of my gut, like vigilantly taking care of my gut. And you can post this, I don't give a shit. I literally go to the bathroom like twice a week, maybe. It's wild. And John's like, what is happening? And I'm like,
That's so crazy, dude, because every time I've ever taken Adderall, I've immediately had to poop. So if you take Adderall every day, I don't.
yeah, but I've been taking it every day for like 20 years.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, it's a little different, but
That part.
I also wanted to mention, I kind of wanted to mention it during our actual episode as I'm like clicking around on my computer right now. I can't sit still and I just be clicking around, Britt, and I'm like up here, over here, Britt. So just sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I do have quite a bit of editing to do on Brittany's double words though.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wow, there's a couple times I was just like, oh my god.
Too, I was like, this is a nightmare.
Just when I unhooked the mic, is that when it stopped? Because
Yeah.
my internet was being fussy and I've been hotspotting this entire time and I've had 0 lags or anything on the hotspot. So I didn't think it was the internet.
Nope, it was the mic.
Yeah. See, that's why I wanted to get the headphones in because I thought it would create some kind of loop. So my bad on that. I'll have to mess with my setup.
We are learning together. I've never produced a podcast studio that was not, or a podcast that wasn't in a studio
Yeah.
with a camera. So this is
Yeah.
new to me too.
Scott actually told me, and I don't have like a way to put it up quite yet, but he said that I can use my GoPro to connect to the so that I can, because I have the GoPro that I won from like a sales competition forever ago, and I just haven't really used it that much. So I'm like, I found it. So if I can set it up, I can like hook it to my laptop with like the USB, and then I can have it somewhere else. So the GoPro will be catching the video. And then if the microphone and audio, if I can get that figured out, then it'll just be like a way better sensory experience.
So I will send you the also the I just got a camera and you're not going to be able to see it because I'm using it right now. So if I turn
Is
it
that what you're
on,
using right now?
yeah, I'm using it was I think it was like $40 on Amazon, came same day. It's a 2K by eMeet. And it literally just has this like clamp thing. I just put it on the back of the computer and I clamp it until it looks right. And it's like easy. I plugged it in and selected it as the camera. I didn't have to do shit. Same thing with this. That's what I'm using. And this was like $30 on Amazon. So we'll see if the quality, we'll see what Scott says after he watches and what he thinks about it.
Yeah.
Who's Scott? Who is this man?
So Scott,
We all met him.
Huh?
He sounds great.
We
He
met.
sounds great.
So Morgan and Lyndsay came to visit, and we met him at there's this place in Salado called Terlingua, which is like a little tchotchke shop, and then there's like a little bar, and then there's like a little
Outdoor area.
Why am I only thinking of the Russian word plashatka, like a whatever, like a
It's an outdoor events space that has a
Yes,
tiny
thank
little
you.
stage, and they pull in different food trucks
Yeah.
on different days.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this guy
Classic
Scott
Austin.
was there. Yeah, he was there supporting his friend who owns the barbecue truck, and it was him and his friend Marcus.
Yes.
Okay.
Marcus.
When I asked who Scott was, him being a rando that you met on an outdoor patio was not what I thought.
Okay, well, it turns out, so actually he like does a bunch of podcasts and stuff. And he does a podcast that's like Softcore History, and he does like a lot of different things. I actually think he might be like a good guest because
Did you say Softcore History?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about anything. What the fuck is that?
It's a podcast, history
Sounds like
podcast.
it sounds like a history kink.
It might be.
Softcore.
You will learn.
Softcore. So is it just like kind of?
I don't know. I haven't.
Do we
listened
not know?
It's in my
Okay.
You know what I
queue.
immediately think? We're gonna go watch it now, but do you know what I immediately think of is that TV show Drunken History.
Oh
Same.
my
That's what
gosh,
I
that
thought.
was the best. That was my absolute favorite show ever
That
of all time ever. And thank you for reminding me, because if I have enough time, I might be able to download a bunch of episodes for my flight. Dude, me and Aaliyah, we literally used to hang out like at her parents' house, and we would just watch the Drunk History show for like hours and hours and hours at a time. It was amazing. But anyway, so Scott, he does like paintballing, he does all sorts of stuff, but he's also on this like I think it's, what is it, like Drinking Bros or something like that. Well, I'll have to get it right and shout him out, but he does a lot of
I'll
different.
post his links under this
Yeah.
video. I'll post his links. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, super, super, super nice, super helpful. Has been giving us a lot of tips on like the listener experience, like, where to post the podcast, like different, considerations when it comes to like your audio, your visual, like things that actually matter. Cause like the content is good, but like you have to think about the listening experience, especially because our audience is going to be so neurodivergent that it's like, I totally get it. Like if I'm listening to a podcast and like the audio is like a little weird, like I'll get a visceral reaction where I'm just like, ooh, like I can't listen to that. So
That's
yeah.
another reason that we haven't gone fully audio into the Spotify and the Apple.
Yeah, because
yet.
we got to get our like setup figured out.
That's
But
fair.
yeah,
And we want people to, because I do feel like the neurodivergence, like our market. Hi guys, hello out there. I do feel like the majority of us, I rarely listen to a podcast without having a video in the background. I'm normally the person that goes and finds the video version and lets it play. It's
Scott
rare.
will read and
always-
listen to a podcast at the same time.
Say that again.
What?
He will read something and listen to a podcast at the same time.
Who?
Scott.
Flopez.
Oh my god.
I know. When he told me that, I was like, sir.
Is that neurodivergence or a
Oh,
genius?
yeah. Are you kidding?
I feel like that's almost like a psyche fracture. Like, how do you get your
Dude.
brain to split in two like that? Mine does not. It will not.
I don't know. I don't know. But
Sir, we have questions. You're coming on
we
the
have
show.
so many
That's fine.
questions. I want him as a guest.
Two things. Does it matter that you're recording this one, Lyndsay, because it's not gallery view?
I don't know. This
We're
is
gonna
just
see.
Yappy Hour, man. It's people
Yeah.
are gonna get whatever the hell they're gonna get.
So
We love
Scott
unfiltered
sounds like a gem of a find. So
He's so
happy that
fun.
you guys
He's
met
EG.
him. And that takes me back to like what I was saying earlier about like being nervous to meet my neighbors. It's because it's not meet, but like hang out with them more. But it's because it's planned and not like this authentic meeting. When I meet people like that, like my friends in Austin when I first moved here used to get so annoyed with me because I'd be like, guys, meet this person I just met across the bar. He's so cool. And they'd be like, we were just trying to hang out with our friend Chey. I'm like, sorry.
So I'm gonna disrupt something for you real quick because it's potential. There's some potential that the reason that you're avoiding that is not because you're worried about being stuck over there getting bored. I think you're a little worried about them not liking you as much as you'd like them to.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I have very much come to that conclusion. She's like the most beautiful, classy, stunning, runs a workout class, and he's like very cool, proper, like gentleman. And I'm like, what if they think that we're like crazy and like we don't have our shit together? I don't know. It's so stupid.
They're gonna find out I'm an ADHD gremlin.
And I'm like,
Everybody loves you. Stop it. Everybody
No,
loves you.
like-
Stop.
I'm like, how quickly do I have to get out of this interaction before they realize that I'm a bridge troll?
I feel like that. I feel every single relationship I have ever been in, I have had that battle, and not just the one-time thought, the friggin' battle, the whole relationship. Like they make these memes about, oh, she asked me if I'd like her if she was a worm because she's worried I won't like her. no, you don't understand the the levels of fear of rejection that we have. My life will end. Nobody will ever like me again. I'm going to be cast out by every person that's ever known me if I get rejected one time. Like it's
Yes. And that actually has played a maybe a toxic benefit. Don't know if that's a combination of word that actually exists. It sounds like an oxymoron, but that I've had in my sales career, because I was like, if I am not the top bitch, if I am not, don't have the biggest team and the most sales, and I break the record and keep the record, well, what will people think of me? And if
They're
I
not
don't
going to want me around anymore.
yeah, and if I don't have all those accolades, what am I worth? What do I have to offer these people? And I'm like, Chey, you are so funny, you're beautiful, you're charismatic, you're empathetic, you care about people, but I'm such a fucking like
People
I
pleaser.
have to have those goddamn accolades or I don't feel like I'm enough. It drives me nuts. Actually, it doesn't drive me nuts. It makes me a shitload of money. But
That's because it's like a social proof for you. And you're like, see all those teachers that told me it wasn't going to amount to anything. Look at all these like awards and accolades. And the number one, it's like, you were all wrong. You're all dumb.
yes, I had
You know that Einstein actually got flunked out and that his teachers told him that he wasn't going to amount to anything either because he was so far beyond the material that he was being presented. He was completely checked out. He didn't care at all. Like, and that was Einstein. Like his teachers in elementary school were like, this kid's a dumbass. He's never going to amount to anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you didn't, you what?
I never had that, but I had the type of childhood and home environment where school was the only place that I received love. So that formulated an overachiever very early for me. Very early. Like I don't
Interesting.
Yeah. Like if I died tomorrow, there are teachers that I would leave things to before family members.
Wow. I love that. That's really special. This is going to sound sad, but it's okay. But I was very much black sheep at home because I was bouncing off the walls and had bad grades. And like my twin sister was very like put together and articulate and organized and just was very quiet and got her stuff done. And I was always like causing chaos. And then I was always causing chaos at school too, because I didn't want to be there because academics are like the bane of my fucking existence. But where I excelled is in my social life. And I learned how to read people and read the room and to be accepted socially. And I am a very social person, which then, in sales is like extremely important. I always say that I don't like when people are recruiting and they're like, anybody can do sales. And I'm like,
that is not at all true.
It's not true. And you guys need to be like realistic. To someone who is naturally like to an extreme level, antisocial, introverted, very shy, like to an extreme level, this is not the career for them. You either have to learn how to be social or just naturally be social. It is one of the criterias and requirements to be successful in sales.
You have to be able to genuinely and authentically connect with the person that you're talking to. And I didn't want to use the word prospect is because you have to be able to see them as something other than a prospect. And if you can't, then they're going to pick up on that. And that might be something different, because there's a lot of really high performance, like men in sales that, and women too, but like that are able to connect enough, but they don't genuinely care.
And that is the difference between the closers that close with a very high retention rate,
the closers and the installers
that develop the relationships with the homeowners, they get the repeat customers, and those that have to force the close or sell on something silly like a site survey or an inspection or whatever. That is the difference between those two realms of people and the ability to connect.
Yeah.
100%. All of my clients feel like they are my friend, but there's this boundary, obviously, but it's very like, if I need something, I will call her and I have one client who called me a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, what was that book that you were telling me about? And hey, what was, he was asking me about working out. He's trying to lose weight. And he was like, what was this? And he just called me as like a friend, you know? And it's not, because it's not like, okay, you have insurance now, see ya. It's like you know, so I think it's really important. And I love connecting with strangers. I love it. And like, I also am like, I don't like to say the word psychic, but it damn near reaches that level. And
pattern recognition, just so you know, it's pattern recognition.
Well,
to a heightened degree.
It's so weird. Like, okay, I got into an Uber last fall with John and immediately read this woman. And she was like, I was like, did you just move back here? And she was like, yeah, I did a couple weeks ago from Dallas. And I was like, oh, you belong here. I was like, you are on some sort of spiritual journey and you feel way more connected to Austin. We were at a stoplight and she like looks in the back seat and was like, I'm from here. I have missed it so much. I hated Dallas and I came back here to finish my book on spirituality. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's fucking weird. And so I was texting with a client the other day and I was like, by the way, this book I think you would really like. And he was like, oh my God, I'm a huge reader. I'm downloading it right now. I was like, I thought so. And then I was like, also, by the way, I'm going to see the Temptations tonight. And I thought that you would appreciate that. And he was like obsessed with them. And I was like, it's so weird. But I love that. That's my favorite part about me. I love it.
I love that too.
There's your superpower.
Oh yeah. It's by far my favorite thing about me. I love it so much. There was this girl, last example, I have so many, but there was this girl on a boat last summer, never met her before. She was a girl that one of our guy friends brought. Very sweet girl. And the very first thing I said to her, I walked up to her and I said, hey, you feel really guilty for being here right now. You are very type A, you're in corporate and you feel like you could be being more productive right now. I go, just relax. It's a Saturday. We're on a boat. You can have fun. You deserve to have fun and you are worthy of having fun. And she just started sobbing. She was like, I have felt bad for being here all day. And I don't know how you just did that, but thank you so much. And we just hugged and she cried and we still like keep up to this day. So yeah, weird, but just a thing I have.
That's crazy.
How is that pattern recognition? Like, what does that mean? I know what pattern recognition is, but how does it do that?
So I have a very similar thing. And I actually, as a teenager, thought maybe I was psychic. I had a weird, like, little dissociation from my actual being. And I actually have been unpacking this recently because I do this in way too many situations where I have already seen mannerisms like this, verbiage like this, tonality like this, interactions like this, style of communication like this, environment like this. Every single I'm going to roll it back here because my brain is going way faster than my mouth right now. So there's a few things about neurodivergence that are proven to be true. And this is even true in like whole other side of the spectrum, nonverbal autistics, for one, all the way to dyslexic. So like this spans a pretty massive part of the spectrum. It's just what you're absorbing changes depending on what type of divergent you are. But what it really is our ability to absorb information and retain it is substantially higher than a neurotypical brain. When you couple that with our ability to pattern recognize, we have this ability without even realizing we're doing it of recalling every single situation that we've been in that this current thing in front of us reminds us of in real time. And I'm pretty certain it's the same for you as it is for me, but my brain will go through all of these scenarios I've already seen that I'm being reminded of right now, and it formulates the most likely outcome of this thing, whether it is a person and an event or like an actual experience in front of you. No matter what it is, my brain has already gone through an instantaneous full recall of every single thing that I've ever experienced that is similar to this thing and has produced the most likely outcome, whether that's who you are as a person, the next lyrics to the song, the ending of a movie. who this person is and what journey they're on in their life. That's just, I think personally, you've coupled that with how empathic you are. And so you absorb people almost instantaneously and can feel their pattern.
Yeah, I think that's super accurate because there are certain physical features that go with certain characteristics, like the girl on the boat, very prim and proper, very cute, facial structure, very well kept and put together. And I could feel also by her body language that she was feeling anxious. And I was like, okay, that's why. And she needs someone to break her down. And the lady in the Uber, like, kind of an older car, like little like circle glasses and flowy pants and da 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 da
Probably some
da.
little spiritual tchotchkes all over the places, Brittany.
Yeah, totally. And so like I like even with influencers on Instagram, I'm like, you're not who you portray yourself as at
This
all.
isn't real.
Or I can see like there's this one couple and I only watch them eat in their car. I love them, Jazz and Cam. Shout out. Yeah, I love this couple. They're so cute. But I can tell exactly what their day to day is like, and all I ever do is see them eat in the car.
Yeah. So I have an interesting kind of theory on this, I guess. And I just completely forgot where I was going. So welcome to my tism. My brain, and I think I expressed this, so you guys will have to forgive me. I'm just gonna, everybody out there, I'm gonna run you down on what just happened. But we had this conversation literally yesterday. My brain moves so fast that my mouth, my hands, etc., often can't even begin to formulate externally what the thought is before I'm 10 thoughts ahead of it, and I can't even remember what this one was anymore. So that just happened.
We were talking about this yesterday.
Yep.
And I think we were talking about like the million different like notes folders or audio like recordings or whatever.
Yep.
We were talking about like, tools that we were using because
Yeah.
I have a lot of the same stuff as far as like I have an idea. If I don't write it down or get it out something immediately, I will lose it like halfway through because I'm already on to the next thing.
I didn't even get one sentence out just now. Do you know how
Yeah.
frustrating that is? Because I know what I was about to say made really good sense, and now it's like it's completely gone. It'll come back in an hour.
It'll come back.
Yeah, but that shit drives me nuts, which is also why
Not drugs, please excuse me.
Okay.
Anybody's raved in the 90s, you know what this is, but now I'm just using it for
I know what that is
sake.
from the rave culture. Being in the crowd and being like, oh.
It has helping.
But that's how
Steve got these for me.
Gross.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Steve got these for me, and I didn't even ask him to. I asked him to get me some Mucinex, and he got this too. And I literally was just chilling with this in my nose. He's like, is that helping? I was like, you have no idea how much this is helping. And I completely forgot these existed because I have 100 tubs of Vicks, right? Like I have the tubs, but sometimes I can't bear to like touch it and apply it because then it's just there forever. And so I'm so grateful because literally like I'm just sitting there and I was like, you have no idea. I was like, I forgot about these. Like
Brittany,
I saw this, but I was like,
pause. Your internet connection. Your internet connection is bad, and you are literally stuck. Staying up your nose. I'm crying. Oh my god.
And on that note,
fine on my end.
Oh, God bless her.
Am I stuck still?
No, you're fine. It keeps going in and out. That's what it is. Figure it out later.
Oh god. On that note, I have to hop into a meeting.
It's been a good yappy hour.
It's been a great yappy hour.